Countdown. I'm ready. Oh, Heavenly Father, we come to you this morning. We thank you for another day, oh Heavenly Father. Thank you for blessing us throughout the week. Thank you for blessing us throughout the month. Thank you for blessing us throughout our entire lives, oh Heavenly Father. We thank you for your goodness, your mercy, and your grace that you continue to show us on a daily basis. Not only daily, but minute for minute, second for second. And we are truly grateful, Heavenly Father. If we're not, then therefore we should be. Also, I want to give honor to those who you place over this house, oh Heavenly Father, the Bible-based church. Keep blessing them, oh Heavenly Father, as we can see they have become inventive in their ways of bringing about the word through learning different technology, different venues, different media forms, and all that we may get the word and your word be shared, Heavenly Father. But that takes an effort of one who loves the Lord to go through those extremes, to learn new things and challenge themselves to do a good job of what they do, that the word may be delivered. And I thank you for them, oh Heavenly Father. May they be a light and a beacon to us, Heavenly Father. Know that we should always look for the glory in all situations, Heavenly Father, and still look for ways, yet not excuses, but ways to make sure the word gets delivered, oh Heavenly Father. We thank you, Heavenly Father, in the name of Jesus. I ask that you bless the words of my mouth, meditation of my heart, be successful in your sight, in reference to the lessons in which I'm going to bring forth today. I thank you again, in the name of Jesus, and your Holy Spirit be with me and keep me. Amen, amen. Good morning, good morning. Another morning, another Sunday morning, another Sunday morning. Glad to be before you again. We saw this quarter is going to end, and our lesson for the quarter has been, the subject of the quarter, is justice and the prophet. And in that, in the various lessons that we've been brought before you, we talked about God's required justice. We talked about God's promise, a just kingdom. And now in terms of in this quarter, this unit, we're talking about call to God's work of justice. Call to God's work of justice. Last week we talked about repent of injustice. And we got a couple of things before I get into the lesson. I do kind of want to recap. I think recaps are always good for those who may have not been with us from the beginning, or those who may have forgotten or fell short of memory, as mine do sometimes. And that's what we're talking about. God was talking about the accountability. Therefore, he has called to accountability. We all should not only expect to be called to accountability, but we should also hold each other to be accountable for the things we do. He says also be in prayer for justice. Justice we've seen now throughout this storyline is something that he is constantly speaking of, and in every generation, as far as the beginning until now, we are still talking about justice or injustice not being carried out, or the lack of. Also, too, we talked about the consequences of injustice. There are consequences for injustice. That does not say one does not, as far as God don't love you, he's not for you, he doesn't understand you. All those things sometimes get in the way of us trying to take accountability for our actions, and screws the message that God is trying to give us the lesson in the action that we did in order for us to better ourselves, as well as to enhance the relationship with him. We should always have an argument against corruption, meaning therefore we should never sit idle and just watch corruption go on. We should never sit idle and watch corruption go on and think that we are the ones in turn not the one to deal with that. Again, if that was true, then Martin Luther King would have done what he did. We can just go back and the countless those individuals who might have just come from a small town, lack education, whatever the means may be, but yet heard the calling and went towards it. We ourselves charged with for that. A need for just leaders. We see that every day. A need for just leaders. Those who are looking for and got the heart of people and looking to do right and be right in what they're doing, not only for an individual group of people, but people as a whole collectively. Also, now we're talking about just service. Again, those sometimes within our ranks necessarily don't always carry out the things that God do. So again, a church pastor or a minister may be deemed unrighteous by something that's going on with his service within the house, but he ain't got nothing to do with that. We'll now associate that with that, but at the same time, I do understand the association of, but not always necessarily the blame go to, because therefore he is doing what he's supposed to do, he's probably supposed to do. We are all accountable for our own individual actions, and And that should be our first preference of dealing with the act, the person within itself, not necessarily one that's over. Another case in point of that is, I've got people I was raised with in the inner city, in the projects, and yet, man, their mama beat them for the same thing I got beat for. We went to the same church, went to the same school. Sometimes they just went down the line and they wanted to go down. It just happens, but yet that's not the plane of the parents. We also talked about the resurrection Savior, that know that our God is a living God and is currently alive in every situation today. We also should learn about the execution of those people who are screwed or scoundrels in their acts and deeds. Those people behind the scenes doing things. God is always watching. Talk about justice, a just, loving God. He is very much that, and never should we ever confuse the two, because we might be doing something that he likes to love for what he has for us. I know that's hard to accept sometimes, because our parents told the same thing. I tell my kids the same thing. Lord knows I did. You know, I'm beating you this because I love you, I'm spanking you, I'm disciplining you. I didn't get it, and I hope I'm sure they don't get it now either, until I got older and I got to see. That brought us now to our third lesson, talking about prophesying of restoration. Now, according to that, there's two kinds of restoration. Restoration is a restoration, a restorative justice. We talked about in reference to God is prophesying about the things that are once was or the things that are to come. At the same time, though, when he brought about and talked about the rejoicing of us once again watching the kids play in the street, what he was trying to tell you, that's no surprise to me. Even though you look at it as a miracle, it's no surprise to me. For I always knew from the beginning to what was going to play out in the end, because I'm God. We talked about the promising of peace. God in turn said, in favor and in the covenant and in the obedience of the covenant and the following, then therefore I establish some things around in reference to peace. Now we ask, what is peace? Peace can be talking about times of war. Peace can be talking about a peace of mind through distress. Peace can come from health. It can stem from many different things. But what I want us to take from that last week was, the peace of God rests with us all day, every day, depending on our perception. Our perception robs us from experiencing the glory of God. The practicing of justice, that means there's something that we are to do. Not just say, oh, be for God, God be with me, there's nothing I can do. No, it's something he can do. He says, well, I am holy, therefore you be holy. He told a young lady when she was called to the adulterous place, now you go and sin no more. There was something to do. There was something to do. Repenting from injustice. One thing we can say throughout all of these, and all the prophets that we dealt with, they cry out was for them to repent, therefore, before the consequences come. Anybody in this day and time, 9 times out of 10 of them, we talked about parents, grandparents, all that, and all they kept saying is, son, turn from your wicked ways, stop doing what you're doing, live this way, practice this, practice that, and in turn, but then he. Now the consequences done came. Now I'm calling grandma. And I'm calling you put their hand up, give you some help. But again, though, that's saying that you found now all of the leaders and the king did not want to hear from Jeremiah, but when the rain started coming, they wanted to go, hey, Jeremiah, can you go pray to God to bring about a change or to rescue us like he did in the past? I talked about that too. So again now, in the time of us, we should have learned something. I get them in that time, they want to run to Jeremiah, but in the day we do the same thing. We want to run to Pastor D. We want to run to our mama, we want to run to our grandma, like, pray for me. But, man, now you're a child of God today. You should maybe pray for yourself. Yeah, I tell sometimes y'all might have questions. Pastor D questions and teach you. Like, surely my flock know that you, hey, look, I tell you what, you start and I'm going to finish. That's how we should always say to somebody, say, hey, when you pray for me, I tell you what, you start and I'm going to finish. At the end of the day, I might not have said nothing but amen. But see, we so quick to say, yeah, baby, I'm going to pray for you, so come on and you going to pray. They ain't said nothing. As you saw then it's still coming now. They was asking for the prayer without any repentance. No forgiveness, no sorry, no nothing. See, if you start praying to God, the first thing you're going to mind by the time you're going to say, Lord, I'm sorry.
So sorry.
I recognize I'm wrong. See, if I'm doing the praying, they sitting there. Ain't how it works. Ain't how it works. Brings us to our lesson plan today. Pursue love and justice. Pursue love and justice. Now, in last week's lesson plan, there was just and right. Be just and right. So there's justice and righteousness. There wasn't no comma to separate them as individuals. What you're going to find is about this is our God and the God I serve. Even doing this lesson, I found myself getting excited. What you find in the character of our God is that he talks about judgment, but not without forgiveness.
Right.
He talks about anger, but yet without compassion.
Yeah.
He talks about mercy, not without grace. So see, he says to you, I am collectively in all times at a balance in what is being distributed and administered, and therefore I am bringing forth. Again, we find ourselves sometimes being one without the other and say, because we got one, then we good. I ain't ready. I'm just saying, it might be in there. I ain't ready, though. I haven't read it. Bring us to our storyline today in reference to our devotional scripture was coming from Deuteronomy, chapter 8, verses 11 through 20. Again, that's Deuteronomy, chapter 8, verses 11 through 20. I should have that up already. I apologize for that. Show us what start with here right now. But it's all good. Let's get there real quick. Again, Deuteronomy chapter 8, verses 11 through 20 reads as this. It says, but that is the time to be careful. Beware that in your plenty you do not forget the Lord your God and disobey his commandments, regulations and decrees that I am giving you today. Let me read that again. It says, but that is the time to be careful. Most times that's when the time being prosperous. That's time to be careful. When you prosper, you got plenty, you long and need nothing. That's when you need to be careful. He says again, beware that in your plenty you do not forget your Lord your God, disobedient and disobey his commandments, regulations, and decrees that I am giving you today. Remember, I'm always talking current. We always thinking back then. He says today. Today is today. It says that when you have become full and prosperous and have built fine homes to live in, and when your flocks and your herds have become very large, and your silver and gold has multiplied along with everything else, be careful. Do not become proud at that time and forget that the Lord your God, who rescued you from slavery in the land of Egypt, do not forget that he led you through the great and terrifying wilderness with his poisonous snakes and scorpions, where it was so hot and dry. He gave you water from the rocks. He fed you with manna in the wilderness and food unknown to your ancestors. He did this to humble you and test you for your own good. Didn't we just talk about that punishment thing? My parents told me for my own good now. Yeah. He did all of this so that you will never say to yourselves, I have achieved this wealth with my own strength and energy. Remember the Lord God. He is the one who gives the power to be successful. In order to fulfill the covenant, he confirmed to your ancestors with an oath. But I assure you of this. If you ever forget the Lord your God and follow other gods, worshiping and bowing down to them, you will certainly be destroyed. Just as the Lord has destroyed other nations in the past, you also will be destroyed if you refuse to obey the Lord your God. Now, in terms of that says a lot, and in terms that's kind of in a nutshell of the lesson. We found that all the prophets has continued to come and shout to the people and ask them that very thing. He needs them to repent from their ways and return to God. That brings us to our prophet Hosea. Hosea is no different than the many other prophets that came before him and those who came after him. I assure you that. And what you found in the time of being a prophet is that you're going to be subjected to a few things. You're going to get some ridicule. You're going to get mocked. You're going to get made fun of. You're going to get prosecuted. You know, you're going to get opposed. You're going to get threatened. The list just goes on of all the things. You're going to get bullied. You know, and then frequently you're going to sometimes get killed. Mm-hmm. Being a prophet. Only because you was trying to, in turn, provide wisdom coming from God. We sometimes, in terms of fear of those things, the ridicule, the bullying, the mocking, then we shun ourselves to a corner and not give the wisdom that we know God has laid on my heart to say. Because if anything for the prosperity of another, it ain't coming from nobody but God. You might want to question when it's the prosperity of yourself other than others, because that might not be from God. But when it's the prosperity of another one in good faith indeed, it can only be from God. So when you shun yourself, you're cutting off the word. You're cutting off the word. Brings us to again like Hosea. Hosea again, no different than any other prophets. However, now, Hosea is the only prophet from the northern kingdom of Israel. Now, in terms of, when we talk about Israel in terms of as a whole under David and Solomon and those ones who reigned at the time after the death of Solomon, they broke off. Mm-hmm. You had northern Israel, and then you got Judah. And again, Judah is referred to the daughter coming out of that. So you had a breaking of that. So you find the prophets, as you saw, we talking about Jeremiah. Jeremiah was addressing Judah and Jerusalem because he's from the southern kingdom. You got Hosea now, he's addressing the northern, which is 10 northern tribes that basically has acquired the northern Israel as we know it today. This is who Hosea is addressing. So bring this to our lesson, Hosea chapter 11, verse 1, verse 2, and then we're going to jump to verses 7 and 10. And I will read the whole thing, but again, we're working on a tight schedule. It says, when Israel was a child, he says, I loved him, and out of Egypt I called my son. But the more they were called, the more they went away from me. They sacrificed to Baals, and they burned incense to images. Now you notice it says Baals. Baals is any other gods, and this particular time, the Baal in which Hosea is referring to is the god of fertility. The people in turn in this time has now, due to the pagan nations around them, started practicing these sexual immoral acts and rituals and so forth and so on. So this is the Baal that we're talking about now. If you look back again in Deuteronomy, he talked about the Baal of Peor. Again, so each different, that was a Moabite god. The one we're talking about now, Baal, the god of fertility, is from the Canaanites. That's the one that surrounded us in reference to the Canaanites. So that's who we're talking about when we're talking about Baal. I know here again, I always want you to always draw to that God wants to refer to you. He wants something, but it's not an abstract relationship. He wants an intimate relationship. He says, when Israel was a child, I loved him. Now, why particularly you say a child? Child is one of your most unruly states. See, hopefully by adulthood, adolescence, we should be halfway there. But by the time we hit adulthood, we should know how to conduct and act. And at the time now, when you are unruly, and yet unknowing, lack of knowledge, just wild. Let me put it like that. Let me put it in short, just wild. As a child, it says, I loved him, and out of Egypt I called my son. See, always goes to God, says, the prophet says, to the people of God, and to the people of Israel, this is what God says. I come back and say, my children, my daughter. Now, prophet talking, He don't put you as an object, a thing, or just subject out there. Now he said, yeah, we all got people. It's then we say, my people. It's then when you say, my child. Now, look, I got the good of all children. But it's then when I say, my child. So when he started saying my son, my child, my daughter, he said, look, I get there's all this around you, but it's a personal thing when I look at this. Yeah, I am talking to the people of Israel. I am talking to the kings of Judah. But I'm talking to, when I say mine, though, see, I claim mine. We talk about that thing about building the family. So again, society has a way of politically correct, if I want to put that as a term, right? So in terms when we talk about family, I say, oh, I got a blended family. A blended family. A blended family is, in today's terms, if you've got kids from a previous relationship or vice versa from mother or father, they come together to make a family. See, I ain't number one term coming up was family. That what you deem was family was family. You took consequences for all of them. Now, God will show you through ancestry, there are some characteristics you might take. He ain't pointing them out there. He still said, my children. I get some of my kids might not look like me. I get like some of my kids might not act like me. However, the mere fact that I said they mine, then I take demon ownership of all of them. Ain't no blending, huh? You know, I hear it all the time. See, a blend is another way to keep acknowledging the exclusion of. See, when I say blended, that means all of them ain't mine. Now I got to point out the what's. No, when I say family, I introduce them all. They're my daughters. I don't go through all that from my previous marriage. That family had kids that old. I got kids that old. I don't go through trying to explain to you what that is and why that is. By taking that ownership, it keeps you from the exclusion or the distinction on how you deal with or act with or take responsibility for. If you mind, I will claim all of it. It don't matter about that's from their daddy. No. I ain't giving their daddy. You get what I'm saying? I'm not just saying, you say all the time, oh, that's my mom. All parents in the house now. You get what I'm saying? No. We still take responsibility for it. Ain't no shoving. That's what you find. God ain't doing none of that. God don't do none of that. Let me keep moving on. He says, now again, we read that again. Now he says again, the Baal and sacrifice to Baal, the one we were talking about, in turn was, in that time, was a Canaanite god from the pagan nations around them, and in terms it was the god of fertility. In terms of how you carry out a sacrifice was by involvement in these promiscuous acts of sexual immorality. And therefore, again, it had infiltrated our sense of Israel, my family, the children of God. They started practicing these things. Verse 7 says, my people are determined to turn from me, even though they call me. Wait a minute now. He said, my people are determined to turn from me, even though they call me God Most High, and I will by no means exalt them. He says, how can I give up influence? Listen what he's saying. He said, how can I give you up? How can I hand you over, Israel? How can I treat you like a mob? How can I make you like Zebulun? It says, my heart is changed within me, and all my compassion is aroused. Now, a man and Zebulun ran in the 4 cities of the plain when you had Solomon and Gomorrah. You'll find them back in Genesis 14. That's where God went and destroyed those cities for the very things he's talking about right now. The running rampant of the foolishness. The lying, the thievery, the oppression, the idol worship, all those things in reference to when he's talking about those 4 cities, and these was 2 of the 4 cities, and the other 2 was Solomon and Gomorrah. He says, my heart is changed within me. All my compassion is aroused. He says, I will not carry out my furious rage, nor will I devastate Ephraim again. He says, I am I am God and not a man, the Holy One among you. Now, why is he going to stipulate the fact that I am God and not a man? In terms, he wants you to reference to, I am not a man in which I am one to lie to you, to tell you something in reference just to enhance or advance myself. I am not that one. We've already talked about those things as far as what God characteristically says. He says, I will not come against their cities. He says, I will follow. He says, they will follow the Lord. They will follow the Lord. He will roar like a lion, and he will roar, and he roars. His children will come trembling from the west. Now understand something. We always say this all the time. In a crowd, I know my children's cry. In terms of a crowd, the children know their mother's voice. You've been in another room, you go to speak, and they say, oh, Mama here. Why do you know that? I heard her. You heard all the people are talking? She here? No, Mama ain't here. See, that's the child you got to be concerned. That's what you got to be concerned with. Because again now, they just not sensitive to Mama's voice. Just the same thing, all God's children ain't sensitive to his voice. It's the ones that's not sensitive to the voice that he's talking to. See now, the others, they got to go get some proof. Mama ain't here. Let me go up here and see if Mama business out. Oh man, she showed you up here, Mama. I ain't you come in. See what I'm talking about? Now look, they don't even duck down there. The humbleness done said it now. And the humbleness done said it now. See, Mama in the room. The other look, hey, I go sit. I don't have to tell you nothing I'm doing. Because I'm doing what I know thus Mama would have me what? Do. The other one, because they out doing their one thing, now I got to go see because that means I got to do something different. So I'm going to go up there now. Oh, girl, Mama is in because trying to be quiet, girl. See what I'm talking about? That's us, though. I mean, that's us as children of God. We got to be mindful of that. But again, though, that's not even out there. Because the Bible says what? The one that's first, and the last, and the one that's last, maybe first. See, again, he's trying to tell you, don't count out the ones that ain't as sensitive to your ears and your wisdom as you think they should be. Because the one you might think gonna go on and be all that you think gonna be, that ain't how it came out. Now you find the one that's last now being first. But again, sometimes in the course of that though, we'll start showing a little fade. He says again, now I ain't trying to get you to see no distinction. All I'm trying to tell you is be fair and just with all of them. Don't say, I'm going to do one for this one because of that, but I'm not going to do it for you. That's that compassion again. We're talking about compassion and love. We talk about hatred and compassion. You can't get one without the other. We talk about the judgment and the forgiveness. You can't get one. So you ain't going to find neither one without the other. God said, we'll find ourselves judging and we ain't got no forgiveness. We find ourselves angry and ain't got no compassion. He tells us to be careful about it. Last week again, he said right and just. And meaning collectively. The two goes together. Ain't no common in the very these are individual. They go together. And that's what you have to be conscious of. Now, in terms of when he says the Lord will run, he uses reference to the coming of the Savior. So when he roars, they will hear his voice, and his children will know his call. I'll tell you all the time, no? Those who love me know my what? Know my voice. Those who love me know my voice. At the same time, that's not to say the ones that don't love you don't know your voice. It's just, if I say they drifted right now. See, sometimes, that's a good word, adrift. Sometimes we find ourselves at adrift. Sometimes we encounter some stresses that we might not be able to deal with. Sometimes we encounter some things that we might not be able to quite understand what's going on. And those in turn find ourselves adrift. This is where the northern Israel kingdom came to. Again, and Deuteronomy talked about the prosperity. Again, he talked about be careful now. This is the time you need to be careful when you got abundance. I told you that loose talk, where that pride in there. We're at church. Oh, praise God. You bless me with all that I got. You got this, man. I ain't worried about no Oklahoma. I ain't worried about that. I got a degree. I ain't worried about it. I got plenty of money. I ain't heard God nowhere out there in the streets. See?
Right.
That's what that pride that set in. So you think now, because that's that conscious, real talk speaking. Now that's what you really think. Because of myself and all that I am, I've accomplished this. Because your terms show that. Then you want to get some advice. When I tell you about the advice given, people want to ask about what you're doing instead of who you're following. That's what you tell them. So you start talking about your success, you want to talk about what I do and what I did. The question should be, I'm going to tell you who I follow.
Yes. Amen.
And do my follow and my fellowship with him and my surrender to him. This how I got all my blessings. Now, if you want some of this, follow who I follow.
Right.
Not do what I do, but follow who I follow.
Right. Amen.
Because you know what I do, I already know I'm falling short. I already know I got flaws. Be careful with that. See if you can read. Hosea 12, 1 and 2. It says, infant feeds on the wind. He pursues the east winds all day long and multiplies lies and violence. Now, if infant feeds on the wind come and go and changes directions all the time, don't it? See, he said there's a problem with that. He says, infant, they feed on the wind. The wind, in terms of the subject of the word, the wind is used as a metaphor. So therefore, the wind comes and goes and changes without rhyme or reason. That's what they feed on. He said he pursues the east wind all day long. He says it multiplies lies and violence. Again, they just changing. Whatever going on, whatever fit their situation right now, is where it's going to come. And again, they never do multiplying lives. And they do it all day long. It says, and sends olive oil to Egypt, and makes a treaty with Assyria. It says, and sends olive oil to Egypt. Now, what he's trying to tell you now, you're getting in the bed of your enemies. You're getting in the bed now with your enemies. I don't put you in a position, you don't need to be getting involved with any of them. That's what he's saying. You don't went on now and made a treaty with Assyria. Assyria was one who just conquered. That which I freed you from, you going back to? He says, and he sent olive oil to Egypt. Anyway, let's keep moving. It says, the Lord has charged to bring against Judah. He will punish Jacob according to his ways and repay him according to his deeds. Again, now we talked about there is a restorative justice and a retributive justice. In other words, he's saying, I'm going to be just and fair with all. Now, some justice is going to be in terms of, I'm going to do an eye for an eye and a tooth for a tooth. There's another justice where I'm going to need to do, the punishment is going to be able to get those back in restorative justice, where I'm going to redeem them based on what they lost. In other words, you was in a car accident, and yet and then that person in turn getting consequences because of that negligence, and they drink. Now, in terms of drink, you done lost something. So I got to deal with two sets of justice here. I got to make the punishment for the person who committed the crime, but at the same time, I got to try to restore some sense of justice to the one who encountered or endured the tragedy as a victim. That's when you saw God talking about justice. Those are the two justices he's dealing with. I'm going to deal with the one that's carrying out the act, but I'm going to make sure the act fits the crime. And at the same time, on the restorative justice side, I am going to basically try to replenish that which you had lost in reference to the ill-gotten gains or the negatives of the one that you've been under. Those are the two justices God is talking about. And that is what he's referring to, saying, it says he will punish according to the ways and repay him according to his deeds. We're on number 6 now. We'll get this is Hosea 6 through 14. It says, but you must return to your God, maintain love and justice. You see a comment? Based on my teaching now, the comment would be one love. He said, well, I love him, but you ain't got no justice. Or you say, I'm just, but you ain't doing out of love. See, I'm just saying now, I could be wrong. I know I got some people got a higher degree than me, but hey, help me out now. It says, and wait for the Lord your God always. He says, wait for the Lord your God always. Did he say how long? See, we talked about that back in when we did with Jeremiah was talking. See, you better come and get complacent. God had been gone for some time now, had been gone a while, so now we start getting complacent in our acts and our deeds and what we carry out. Got to be careful about that. It says the merchant used dishonest scales and loves to defraud. Again now, because he ain't king now. I got to get my own hustle. I got to make this thing happen. Now that means in terms I got to tell a little white lie. Now I might tell a little white lie to get what I want. Because I ain't waiting on the Lord no more now. Because I done started intervening and strategizing and planning and plotting. So that's why he referenced the merchant now. In order for the merchant to get wealthy, instead of him just giving a good product at a good price, and by being righteous by his customer and I'm the merchant, then wealth will come. It's taking too long. I can get there a lot quicker if I read these scales. And I can be a lot more profitable. That's what he's saying when we start talking about the verse like we did. He says, infirm boasters. This is not, it says, infirm boasters. I am very rich. I have become wealthy. And with all my wealth, there will not find in me any iniquity and sin. Now, God wants to compare it to now. He done gave you the people. They're not walking around stating, I'm very rich. I can't go, they walk around boasting. God says again now, sometimes we try to see who we're going to follow by what they have and what they got. I'm going to get up on the sunset to see who he had. He says, well, look at this in now. They boasting about their wealth. Yeah. He says, look, they can say that they never became wealthy. Who gives wealth? Didn't we just talk about that being prideful? That's who you're going to follow. He says, wait a minute now. With all my wealth, they will not find in me any iniquity or sin. Out of all the things I got and I possess, I can easily boast because I'm God. But you ain't going to find no iniquity nor no sin, and thus which I'm carrying out. So keep on moving. He says, I have been the Lord your God ever since you came out of Egypt. It says, I will make you live in tents again. It says, in the days of your appointed festivals. It says, I speak to the prophets to give them many visions and told parables through them. Again, God is looking for us to repent. He understands the drift now. He do recognize that. However, he's saying, I put prophets here to constantly remind you and to heed to you. You leave it out of touch now. You're losing the intimacy that me and you once had. You're starting to find confidence in other things around other than the one that provides you what you got. Yeah. So he's saying, be careful. We just read again. You missed it, Deuteronomy chapter 8, verse 11. He went through all of that. Be careful now when you find yourself prosperous and wanting for nothing. I ain't got one car, I got two cars. No, I got 3 cars. I ain't got a couple of dollars, I got many dollars in the bank. He says that's when you need to be most careful. Keep on going. He says again, but he sent prophets now. Again, now prophets, some of the things you probably don't see much of today. That's because it done been said, it done been told, it done been proven, and it's done. Jesus says the king said, then it's done. All we got to do is wait for the coming. Ain't nothing else really come to tell you about what's going to be happening to carry out in time to come as far as my return. That's it. But there are some terms of prophecy. You know, not prophesy about your particular life and a particular event. I'm not naive to that. At the same time, they're advisors. So in the terms when you're acting as a counselor, as a mother, you are also in turn acting as a prophet because you are prophesying thus what you see now are the things that will come. You don't get your schoolwork, you don't get no grade. You don't get no grade, you don't graduate. You don't get no degree, you don't get no job. All right. You don't stop out that line, you and stealing, you're going to go just, that's prophecy.
Yeah.
All that stuff means you saying that you're based on your acts, these are the things to come. Tell me what's doing with Jeremiah, Ezekiel, and Isaiah saying, look, based on your current behavior, if you don't repent and change, these are the things to come. But again, now we deal with a just and fair God because again, now, he ain't trying to deal with you unknowingly now. He want to make certain you're aware of what the consequences are and the particular acts that you are outside of in reference to the word. See, you are, what you mean you don't understand? I've been there too now, so don't get me wrong now. I've been there too. But the point is, you get quite a more of this again. Now, he's talking about children, though. He's talking to those who've been with me, walked with me, the ones I fed from the sky, the ones I drew water from a rock, the one who walked in the desert for 40 years and yet your feet ain't never swell, man. I can't get through a week of work without my feet swelling.
Oh, man.
Anyway, let's keep moving. He says he's Gilead wicked. Now again, Gilead can be a place or a person. You're representing the Bible. This big time he's talking about a particular place, not necessarily the person Gilead. He's talking about the ways of being at the time that they was outside right. But you have to ask that question, is they wicked? Because I already know. I want you to look at them and then look at the word and you decide rather than because you the one slipping. It needs a point of reference that you need to be able to draw to, and I'm going to ask you a question. Are they not wicked? Because we'll find ourselves hanging with acting like and following individuals who acting way outside of the word of God. And if you ain't careful to start lining up and going back to the creeds, going back to the word and law, you'll find yourself following those ways. So we have to ask you now, is that person not wicked? Because obviously you're not quite understanding what wicked is. So I want you to go back and read the word, say what I associate with wicked, and see if that person is practicing those things, and then you come back and tell me. The one thing I love about Jesus, boy, you'll learn nothing else. You need to ask questions. You need to ask questions. It says their altars will be like pillars of stone on a plowed field. Jacob fled to the country of Abram. Israel served to get a wife. It says, and to pay for her, he tended sheep. The Lord used a prophet to bring Israel up from Egypt, and by a prophet he cared for him. It says, but Ephraim, you have aroused his bitter anger. His Lord will leave on him to the guilt of his bloodshed, and will repay him for his contempt. Again, we just talked about injustice. We talked about accountability. We talked about God addressing those things that are wrong, and he's saying he's always on the watch. These things throughout this lesson plan, we should one thing be assured: God wants a personal relationship with you. Individually, he wants with you. He constantly refers to us on an intimate level. He says, my people, my daughter, my children, my son. His love is loyal. He is yet angry in his holiness by our acts, yet he is also smooth, as I said before, compassionate. And yet in our unfaithfulness, as we see in the scriptures, God is constantly a forgiving God. He is a restoring God. He is never saying you don't fail too full way that you can't come back to me. Anyone can get you at the point of being unholy to the point to where there is no God, you can't return to God, it ain't from God. Case in point being, don't come to be complacent. We should be one like David in terms of saying, God knows my heart. When you get called on, that's the only time you say it now. When you get called on something that you acting outside of God and your acknowledgement is, yeah, I know you're right. But God knows my heart. David says, search my heart. To see if any of this thing find itself to be a flaw. See, if you find the leadership, they was getting offended. But see, we find ourselves telling you, I can't believe you. Wait a minute now. You need to say, Lord, you know what? I yet don't see it. But there might be some of that in me somewhere. So search my heart to bring to revelation that I may make a change. Not that I'm above the criticism that I'm getting. With that being said, notice again, the people of God of Israel never totally left God or abandoned God. They just went adrift for a certain amount of time. We'll find ourselves sometime adrift. But with that being said, we should always be mindful, knowing that we are capable of drifting. Therefore, we should always be conscious or self-analyst through the word to ensure that we don't drift. Notice God is with us and for us, and even in our distant point of time, He loves us. But again, He is a personal God. He wants a personal relationship. And again, only through your interaction with Him. Draw nigh to Him because He is continuously trying to draw nigh to you. May this word be a blessing to you. May it be some insight to you. May it enhance your relationships as a whole throughout your entire life in your immediate family. And know that God is always with us and never forsake us, and He is at a call to get help. I thank you now for your time, and I thank you for the word of God. May it be a blessing to you. Amen. Amen.